So, the story I'm going to tell is about the last Splendor in the Grass that I went to before I got pregnant with my first child. So, my partner and I used to go to these forever. Ever since we got together, we'd go every year with all of our friends. And it was always this like really fun thing leading up to it. We'd be packing. We're from Cairns. That was in Byron Bay. So, it would mean that we'd have to take everything we were going to take, or we'd have to be super organized. We'd go on a big travel cater with all of our friends. And it was always so much colder than it was in Cairns. So we were really unprepared every time we went. But this last festival, which was great, it was when King Giz and the Lizard Wizard were playing, and we were so excited. And it was particularly one of my partner's favorite bands with their awesome like psychedelic music. And they decided this year that they wanted to dress up in costumes. And I was the only one that could sew. So we went out, we found a pattern, and they were kind of these like hooded suit kind of costumes that you would have. And we found a pattern that we'd liked. And there was meters and meters of fabric, and they all wanted to be a different color. So I think there was 7 of them, and went all the way from blue right through to yellow. And it took me weeks and weeks and weeks of sewing, especially because they're all different heights. And I was doing it in my spare time, and I'd never done this pattern, and it was so ridiculous. And anyway, so we get there, we get to the festival, they're all excited. They decided that they were going to zinc their faces to, match with the outfit. So it blended in, and some of them have facial hair. So some of them got these really kind of like funky zinc blended, facial beards. And some of them, because it had been a while since I'd seen them, some of them had like their ankles exposed. Some of them, they were really long, and it was so hot. And we hadn't anticipated that. So they're all really sweaty in these really, colorful, bright costumes. And anyway, so they're really excited. We take a whole bunch of photos. And because there's so many people at Splendor in the Grass with all the amazing music that was there, I don't think that they expected that they would even get noticed. They were just really excited to be there, and, everyone was buzzing. And we get there, we walk in, and the band takes one look at them. And because they're so bright and colorful, and because they had these hoods that peaked up so high, you could see them like pick them out a mile away, even in a huge big area. And because they were on quite early in the day, I think it was about 2:00, it was really hot. So by the time that we got there, and it wasn't as big as a crowd as like a 5 or 6 o'clock show, they stuck straight out. And the band stops, and everyone turns and looks at them, and they just go, oh my gosh, I can't believe that we saw these guys. And the boys were so wrapped, and everyone that was around them, we were all so wrapped because it looked so good. And then when everyone started dancing, it just looked like the most ridiculous thing you'd ever seen, because there was all these moving colors, and everyone was so happy, and the band was so stoked. And then at the end of it, they actually put on their Instagram about how happy it made them, and how, how seen they felt, especially because at that time they were releasing like 100 different songs and albums all the time. And yeah, it was great. It was a really lovely moment for us.